The MiG-41 stealth jet fighter is a marvel of Russian engineering. Capable of shooting down hypersonic missiles, this jet is a force to be reckoned with. With its advanced stealth capabilities, it can evade enemy radar and shoot down targets with ease. So what's the story behind this amazing jet? Stay tuned to find out. Hey guys, welcome to our channel Military Planes, where we tell you about warplanes, from the currently famous in the air to the most advanced around the world. So stay with us till the end of the video so you don't miss out on any of this information. But before we proceed, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell symbol so that you don't miss out on any of our wonderful videos in the future. And let's get started. In the 1990s and 2000s, Russia had little need for, and even fewer resources for, new interceptors. However, as the decade progressed, the situation began to shift, and the country began to reinvest heavily in its defense industry. A significant hearing was held in the Russian parliament's lower chamber, the State Duma, in April 2013. It was entirely devoted to the MiG-31 issue. Bondarev announced in August 2014 that the Air Force was conducting research into a replacement for the MiG-31, the PAC-DP program. According to the presented timeline, development should begin in 2017, with the first aircraft arriving in 2025. The entire fleet of MiG-31s should be replaced by 2028. Simultaneously, the name MiG-41 began to circulate in the media. Its first mentions can be traced back to 2010 when Ukrainian artist Alexander Yartsev posted images of a futuristic airplane inspired by the MiG-21. Despite having no relation to the actual MiG-41, those images were later shared by everyone from bloggers to professional media outlets. Alexander Tarnaev, a Russian member of parliament, first mentioned this number as a proper name for the PAC-DP in mid-2014. He also stated that the new aircraft will be a heavily modernized version of the MiG-31, but made no mention of performance. To clarify Tarnaev's remarks, Russian media turned to Anatoly Kovtyor, a well-known public figure and test pilot. His comments about the MiG-41 were used and reused by almost every outlet at the time, cementing the new plane's image. This amazing aircraft is called a flight into science fiction. As 2017 and the start of the new plane's development approached, official announcements made even more scarce, so rumors had to be amplified. According to Russian media, Kovtyor's should be has become a will be. The MiG-41 will be a hypersonic stealth fighter jet because all fighter jets nowadays are stealth, and one expert has stated that it must be very fast. Bondarev was another misconstrued source of information, making several new statements. In late 2017, he stated that the PAC-DP will have an operational range of up to 1,500 kilometers and will be armed with the R-37 as well as some other as-yet undeveloped missile. He also claimed that the plane would be the fastest jet fighter in the world, which the media quickly translated as hypersonic. The most widely quoted snippet came from the United Aircraft Corporation chief engineer Sergei Korotkov, who said that the development was delayed until 2018 and joked about the company's willingness to follow political orders. If they say into space, we will do into space. For journalists, this joke meant that the MiG-41 would undoubtedly be a space plane. The only reliable information came in 2017 from MiG's chief designer Ilya Tarasenko, who stated that the development would be delayed until 2018 and that the plane could be modified to perform unmanned missions in the future. As a result of the combination of real information, exaggerations, and speculation, a picture of the MiG-41 emerged. It had to be a hypersonic, possibly unmanned stealth aircraft capable of reaching orbital altitudes, if not orbital speeds. The only true facts were an unmanned variant, a range of 1,500 kilometers, the armament of the late MiG-31, and the start of development in 2018. The into space remark could be interpreted as an anti-satellite capability, which the MiG-31 already has. Notably, no military official or person associated with MiG ever mentioned the name MiG-41. Only journalists, politicians like Tarnaev, and experts like Kovtyor used it. A look back. Two more aspects of the MiG-41's public image must be addressed. One of them is its actual representation. Even though there were no official blueprints, visualizations, or mock-ups, some sort of illustration had to appear in the news. Yartsev's sci-fi MiG-41, designed in 2010, was used wherever possible, and as the artist admitted to Aerotime, his inbox was inundated with requests for more renders and blueprints. The MiG-21 inspired plane, on the other hand, was clearly not a heavy fighter, and the images were far too dramatic to be official renderings of a real military project. Official statements also did not mention hypersonic or Mach 4 capability. There is no information on the development of the ambitious turbojet ramjet engine envisioned for the Type 301-321, and there is a good chance that such an engine would be completely unnecessary. With the M37 now fully developed and in at least limited use, PAC-DP would be able to intercept targets at higher velocities and longer distances than ever before. Furthermore, the notion that speed is the most important feature of a fighter jet was abandoned in the 1970s, as evidenced by each subsequent new development. Interceptors no longer need to be that quick. It is very unlikely that the MiG-41 will be called MiG-41 unless the military chooses to bend to public pressure and accept the popular name. Its hypersonic and spacefaring capabilities are also highly improbable, leaving us with the unmanned capability, 1,500-kilometer range, and hypersonic armament. There's also the issue of it being Russia's sixth-generation fighter jet, which deserves its own in-depth examination. To be more specific, the generation of a fighter jet is merely an arbitrary number used by manufacturers, journalists, and pundits to boast about their respective countries' might. The MiG-41 is no exception, with Russians referring it to either as Generation 5++ or 6 and never explaining why. The integration of artificial intelligence, heavy use of support drones, and operating within a system of systems is the core principle of American, European, and Japanese programs. The MiG-41, a supersonic lone wolf tasked with serving as a glorified air-to-air missile delivery platform, stands out like a sore thumb. However, there was a strong emphasis on unmanned operations, as evidenced by a promise to develop a dedicated, remote-controlled variant in the mid-2010s. It was created at a time when this seemed like a fantastic idea for the sixth generation. The FA-XX program, which peaked around the same time, was built on the same premise. Until 2014, the unmanned variant was pretty much the only difference between the proposed American next-generation airplane and the fifth generation. So the sixth generation claim is false, but to be honest, PAC-DP does not require things like loyal wingmen. It was designed to fill gaps in air defense with its powerful radar and fast missiles since its inception in 2013, and that is exactly what this aircraft is likely to do. As a result, it is unlikely to differ significantly from the MiG-31 in every visible way, whether in terms of technical characteristics, armament, or even appearance. So now the most awaited question is, when will it be? The January 2021 news about the development start was a misunderstanding. The same thing was reported previously, most notably in 2018 and 2017. It was very likely that at that point, the research had concluded and the true development had begun. We can even say that development began in 2013 with the start of project research. Despite the fact that it was a different phase, work on the plane began immediately. The initial timeline called for a prototype by 2020 and a mass-produced plane by 2025. It is unusual for such programs to be completed on time, and given that the start of the development property was delayed for a year, it is only natural that the maiden flight be delayed by a year or more. As a result, 2021 or 2022 are excellent years to see the new plane, the not MiG-41, in action. On the other hand, if the Su-57 story teaches us anything, it's that Russia's timelines can't be trusted. The plane spent 2 years in the conceptual design phase, 3 years in the development phase, and 3 more years before the prototype was ready. Each of those phases took a year or two longer than expected, and the final serialized fighter jet arrived in the military 4 years later than expected, in 2020 rather than 2016. The MiG-41's conceptual design phase lasted 5 years, and it is still in development after another 3 years. It is also a much more secretive project than the Su-71, which had preliminary images released at the start of development. If work on PAC-DP is still ongoing, it is pointless to speculate on what is really going on with the project and when Russia will release it. And that's it for today, guys. We sincerely hoped you enjoyed the video. If so, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and family. If you have any questions or comments, please share them with us in the comment space below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see even more of our incredible videos. You can also check out our other videos that have been specially selected for you. We'll catch up in the next video.